AI as a co-creator with architects. Produced by Arkland Pro. For most of history, the act of designing a building began with a single line, a single pair of hands, and a blank page. The architect's pencil hovered over the paper, waiting for an idea to arrive, an idea shaped by personal experience, education, culture, memory, and imagination. Architecture was, above all else, a deeply human art. But today, the creative landscape is shifting, and the studio of the 21st century is witnessing the arrival of a new creative presence, one that does not sleep, does not tire, and does not dream as humans do, yet somehow can generate an ocean of possibilities beyond anything a single human mind could attempt in a lifetime. This presence is artificial intelligence, and it is no longer acting as a silent tool in the background. It is becoming something far more complex, a co-creator. The idea of AI participating in design once sounded like a distant vision, a speculative scenario reserved for futuristic novels. But the reality we face now is far more immediate. Architects have begun to work alongside algorithms that understand spatial relationships, analyze environmental systems, interpret structural logic, and learn from vast libraries of precedents. What once required years of experience can now be processed in moments. Yet what makes this transformation truly profound is not that AI can perform tasks quickly, it is that AI can participate in the creation of ideas. The process begins in a way that still feels familiar. The architect enters the studio with a concept, a feeling, a desire, a vision of what the building should express. But instead of translating that vision into lines and shapes alone, the architect expresses it as a conversation. A sentence, a prompt, a question. Something like, what would a cultural center look like if it grew like a coral reef? How would a museum behave if it responded to the movement of people like an ecosystem? How might housing evolve if it adapted to climate like a living organism? The moment that question is asked, the creative partnership begins. The AI does not reply with a single solution. Instead, it reveals dozens or hundreds or thousands of variations, forms that twist, expand, merge, dissolve, reorganize, and re-emerge through a digital evolution that echoes natural processes. The architect watches as possibilities unfold in real time. Ideas that would have taken weeks of modeling appear instantly. Options that no human hand would have drawn emerge as if from another dimension of geometry. This is where the relationship becomes truly collaborative. The architect is no longer the lone creator at the drafting table. They become something closer to a conductor of an orchestra, guiding the movements of a system that generates its own interpretations. The AI explores the outer edges of possibility. The architect evaluates, shapes, critiques, discards, refines, and ultimately steers the process toward meaning. AI can show thousands of forms, but only the architect can decide which one expresses a story worth building. AI can calculate environmental performance, but only the architect can sense what feels appropriate for a community, a landscape, a culture. AI can analyze past architectural patterns, but it cannot decide why a building should evoke awe, comfort, respect, or joy. It can compute patterns of beauty, but it does not feel beauty. It can analyze ethics, but it does not live with the consequences of decisions. Yet, despite these limitations, the collaboration between human and machine can produce designs that push architecture into previously unreachable territory. Models evolve like organisms adapting to sunlight, wind, and human circulation patterns. Structural systems reorganize themselves for maximum efficiency. Facades reshape themselves according to radiation analysis, ecological performance, and aesthetic parameters. Entire districts are simulated to understand movement, energy flow, and environmental behavior. The architect becomes the interpreter of this digital evolution. They step into the role of translator between human intention and machine intelligence. Instead of spending hours adjusting a curve or repositioning a window, They spend their energy thinking conceptually, imagining boldly, and refining meaning. The creative process becomes less about the mechanics of drawing and more about the philosophy of making. This shift is enormous. It means the architect is no longer limited by what they can manually produce. They can test ideas that were once impossible to even imagine. Generative systems allow buildings to morph through thousands of iterations in seconds, revealing structural solutions, poetic forms, and unexpected opportunities that would never have emerged in a traditional workflow. The studio becomes a space where creativity accelerates beyond human speed. But this evolution raises new questions, questions that touch the heart of architecture's identity. What does authorship mean when ideas are produced by a partnership between human and machine? Where does creativity originate when the architect no longer shapes every line? How do we preserve emotion and meaning in buildings generated through computation? These questions are not obstacles, they are part of architecture's new frontier. And the architects who embrace this frontier discover that AI can heighten, rather than diminish, the role of human creativity. While AI expands the universe of what is possible, the architect remains the storyteller. They carry the emotional burden of design. They understand the cultural weight of decisions. They interpret the needs of communities, the memories of spaces, the heritage of places, and the ethics of construction. AI does not understand why a family gathers around a courtyard, why communities need public space to feel connected, or why light entering a room at a certain angle can evoke calm or inspiration. The architect remains the translator of human experience. And yet, AI challenges architects to move beyond their habits, biases, and predictable tendencies. It reveals forms that defy tradition. It proposes solutions that blend nature, technology, and geometry in entirely new ways. It pushes architecture into realms that feel both futuristic and strangely organic. Instead of replacing creativity, it expands it. Instead of diminishing imagination, it provokes it. In many ways, AI forces architects to think more deeply about what makes their work meaningful. If a machine can generate infinite shapes, then the value of architecture shifts from the creation of form to the articulation of intention. Architects must now define the narrative, the purpose, the philosophy behind every decision. They must protect the human soul of architecture even as new tools change its methods. As cities grow more complex and environmental challenges become more urgent, this partnership between human and machine may be exactly what architecture needs. AI can analyze climate conditions in seconds. It can predict how a facade will behave over decades. It can simulate the movement of thousands of people through a district. It can identify the most efficient use of energy and materials. It can model entire urban ecosystems. But only humans can decide what kind of world we want to build. The studio of the future is not a place where architects surrender creativity to machines. It is a place where architects evolve into thinkers, storytellers, philosophers, and orchestrators of possibility. The role of the architect becomes richer, deeper, and more intellectually demanding. They must understand computation, but they must also understand humanity at a level that no algorithm can replicate. This is the new creative partnership. A dialogue between intuition and analysis, between emotion and computation, between the ancient human desire to build and the new digital intelligence that expands our creative horizons. We are entering a future where architecture is not simply designed. It is co-created. A future where imagination is amplified by algorithms. A future where the built environment emerges from a collaboration between the human mind and the artificial one. And this partnership, if guided with wisdom and intention, may lead us toward buildings that are more adaptive, more intelligent, more sustainable, and more deeply connected to the human experience than anything we have built before. Produced by Arkland Pro. For more explorations into the future of architecture, design philosophy, and creative innovation, subscribe to Arkland Pro. Share in the comments which topic or architect you want us to cover next.